Skeleton Key here, checking in on booktube spin number 2, which is the deadline is quickly approaching. It's almost the end of June. So the book that the spin picked for me is River of Darkness by Rennie Airth. This is one that I started about 3 years ago for a book club, and then I set it aside for no particular reason. I was actually liking the book a lot, but I got sidetracked because that happens a lot. And I had gotten to about the halfway point. How many pages is there's a lot of extra material in the back. So it looks like it is 435 pages long. And so now I am well past the halfway mark. Had some time today that I could get back to it, and I did not have much trouble at all picking it back up. It's really interesting. I really like the writing, and the construction is different. It's a serial killer novel, and it's set in the years after World War One, and it opens with this murder of an entire family in this rural house in rural England. And so Scotland Yard is involved, and then similar incidents begin happening, and so there's this investigation. So it's a police procedural, but it has some thriller elements, because at a certain point you do actually meet the killer, and then you're following his story thread and you're following the investigation. But then you also get some story threads of I was about to give something away. Oops. I didn't. I don't think I've ever come across a book constructed quite like this. It's there's a little bit of cat and mouse going on. It's more of a whodunit than a whodunit, because it's probably around page 100, 150, something like that. You actually find out who is committing the murders, and you learn a little bit about how he is evading capture or identification, and so there's a lot there are a lot of little threads to pull on, and so I'm hoping that they all get wrapped up. But this feels so, it doesn't feel slapdash. It feels very consciously structured this way, which makes me very optimistic that it is going to wrap up properly. But I do have a few days left in June, so I'm hoping to get this finished in time. Shadow and Molly. And I can't go out there because they are scared of me. They won't. Every now and then I can pet them, but they're very skittish. So I've got a little under 100 pages left to go on this. I am still enjoying it. I do still think it's very worthwhile. It does seem to be a little repetitive in spots. And some of the behavioral science, some of it bothers me. And I can't really pinpoint what exactly, or how, I don't know, just, I'm not sure. I'll have to think on that a little bit to see if I can figure out why some of those aspects of the story are bothering me. This book is 430 some pages long, and I'm think it might be just a little too long. There are spots in this where I'm just like, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's just. I'm ready for this to just wrap up and be over. And you know how I talked about how it was a why done it instead of a who done it. I'm getting a little tired of the teasing out of the why. You know, these little breadcrumbs. I'm thinking, just spit it out. Just tell me, all right? So I am getting a little frustrated with it, but I'm so far I'd say this is probably a 4-star read. So unless it screws up the ending really badly, this will probably be 4 stars. So I did finish River of Darkness, my BookTube Spin #2 book, and I think I am going to stick with that 4-star rating for this. It is really good, and I appreciated a lot of things about how it was structured, and some of the juxtapositions of some of the characters. I thought those were some interesting choices, and I thought they were really effective. But there were some things that did bother me about it. We finally got the big why done it reveal at the very end, and honestly, it was kind of a letdown. I was just like, oh, that's it? Really? Okay. And it's the sort of thing that I could see being really shocking in that setting. But this was a historical fiction. I think if it had been written in that time period, I would have been okay with it. But no, this was a modern publication. It just didn't feel authentic. There were quite a few places in the book where it felt like, oh, well, the research is really showing here. And I mean, I'm not an expert on that era, so I'm just guessing that it was well researched. It felt well researched, but it also felt obviously researched. So that's, I mean, and these are kind of little things, but they just kind of added up to, I just didn't quite feel like this was a 5-star read for me. But it was really good. And if you're looking for something especially set in that time period, and also if you're interested in exploring this sort of hybrid of serial killer thriller and police procedural, I think you might like it. So that's pretty much River of Darkness by Rennie Airth from my perspective. And thanks again to Rick McDonnell for giving me the little nudge to finish this book finally. And I guess we're on to BookTube Spin #3, which has already been spun. So I'll get started on that soon. In the meantime, please like and subscribe and see you around.